'Cause it's just loose lips. I chat better than I sing, so go ahead and enjoy.
I went to a school that really championed academia and sports. And I'm not in either of those categories particularly. Spirituality and psychic feelings, oh yeah, I'm good at that.
Yeah.
But my school didn't really support this like different way of thinking. Anyway, I decided at some point that I was stupid, ugly, fat, gross, all these things that I think a lot of teenagers decide at some point. The self-talk was very strong, kind of telling me these things. Didn't know anything about mastering your mind. I didn't know anything that you needed to love yourself. Oh, she loves herself, she does that one. That means a bad thing. You know, that's been a negative connotation, like everyone was trying to avoid that for so long. So with all that conditioning and living in England as well, you know, it does add to it. I think if you're in America growing up, it's slightly different. They do want you to be full of yourself, as we would say in England. Anyway, when I got to my late teens, I was still really shy and I found partying. I used to just go and party like a crazy person, drink all the booze, have blackouts. You know, I was the biggest party girl and it was very like glamorized. And yeah, so I came out of my shell a bit, but it was mostly alcohol fueled. And then when I wasn't out, I would still be quite insecure, and the alcohol was kind of, you know, a cover up. So yeah, I did quite a few years of partying, and then I got scouted for modeling. And so getting scouted for modeling, I went into the modeling agency, and I'd been a bit ill, so I'd lost quite a lot of weight. So I was feeling more confident because it was all about being skinny then. Went into the modeling agency in Manchester and they said, oh yeah, we love you. Just a bit too heavy. So you just need to go away and lose a stone in weight, come back, and then we'll sign you up. So I was like, I'm not gonna be able to do that. I feel rubbish now. Like, anyway, I did start modeling a little bit with another agency, and they wanted me to be curvy because it was all about bridal work, wedding dresses and things. So I was like, okay. And then about 6 months later, the same agency asked me to go in again. And I was like, I don't really want to go in again for you to tell me that, because I'd actually put on weight by that point. So when I went in, I did go in, and when I went in, they said, we want to take you on as a plus size model, but you're a bit too small. We want you to add a stone in weight. So you can see what was happening here. And anyway, I still felt knocked. Like, the message is you're not good enough as you are. You know, you need to change. Your body needs to change, which was a direct reflection of what I believed about myself. I'm not good enough as I am. My body needs to change.
So, as they were telling you these things, were you sort of complying with it in your own self-talk? Were you like rationalizing it and feeling like you had to?
No, I know I wasn't. Like, what they said, I was like, well, I can't lose weight anyway, and I'm definitely not going to put it on. Like, who wants to do that? So no, but then the self-talk around it is that I wasn't good enough. I'm not good enough. My body isn't good enough as I am. I need to change in one way or another. Too much, too little, too big, too small, whatever it is. So this is where I think a lot of people relate, because we're often telling ourselves we're not enough, or we're too much of this or whatever. And when we do tell ourselves that, we tend to attract situations that reflect that back. So we can be like, oh yeah, it's true. You know, so whether that's a boyfriend who tells you you're fat and ugly when you believe that, it's actually trying to help you to realize you're not. But at the time, it emphasizes that you are. So it's law of attraction, it's manifestation. You're manifesting more of what you think.
I understand that. Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
I feel as well. It's a weird paradox, because I mean, the weight itself is the weight. Like, let's just take that as, say, neutral. But if you're comfortable in it, you're owning it. But if you're insecure in it, then it's owning you. And
Yeah.
I tend to find, like, you know, as a male, I don't probably understand anywhere of the stream of it, but even I'm aware of the pressure that, let's say, adverts put, for example, you know, where you've got to use this makeup or use this hair product or use X, Y, and Z, and then you look at the small print and it says like 76% of women agreed that, and it's like only 12 women tried it, and it's like, what? That makes no logical sense, and yet you can see the pressure that is already there from society that you have to appeal in a certain way to just even go out the front door. It's bonkers.
Yeah, and as well, like conditioning now with social media, and when I was young, it was like magazines and TV and, you know, pop stars, and that was one conditioning, but also the conditioning that comes down from our ancestors of, you know, women for so many years have been had horrible things. Like, it wasn't even that many years ago that they were burning people like me at the stake for having different thoughts or wanting to empower people, or, you know, I probably would have been burnt at the stake even 50 years ago in England. That's how close that is. So it's no wonder that women still have this hangover of, you know, feeling they shouldn't feel good because everyone wants to feel good, but some people feel bad for feeling good. Oh, I shouldn't love
Yeah,
myself.
feel guilty almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there's so much to it. It's multifaceted.
So when you're speaking with women who come to you, are you hearing their stories, and is there quite a commonality even though people are from completely different backgrounds? Like, can you maybe give us some common factors that seem to pop up?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So there's kind of two types of women that I'm working with mostly. It's the ones who are new to the work, they're just finding self-love, and they want to change the way they feel about themselves because they've realized the way they feel about themselves isn't getting the results they want in the life in all domains. So that's one type of woman that I work with, and I'll tell you some commonalities with that. And then the other one is the ones who've done a bit of the self-love work or the personal development, and they've had a massive realization. They've kind of made that switch. Oh, right, I've figured it out now I want to teach this. So when they flip that switch and want to teach it, that's where I come in, because then everything they dealt with back then about not feeling enough about the body or themselves or for a partner or whatever, it's the same things that come up again, but around business and around sharing it. Who am I to share it? I'm not good enough. I'm an imposter. You know, so it's the same things that come up.
'Cause it's just love.